Fourth powder day in 5 days this week. Allons-y, let's go. Here we go again. Barely 2 days after the last storm blew through, we've got another huge North Atlantic depression barreling down into the Alps, dumping bucket loads of snow. This is awesome. We currently have a lot of snow, a lot of wind up high, but crucially, several degrees colder than last time. So the snow down here in the trees is really, really lovely. In theory, freezing level today is around about 1,500 meters and dropping. But yeah, as I was coming up the lift today, it was already snowing down to Saint-Gervais at around about 800 meters, sleeting all the way down to the Fire at about 500 meters. So you can be sure up in Chamonix at 1,000 meters, it's also absolutely dumping down. And again, up here, up on the mountain, this is absolutely magic. The storm started yesterday, Sunday, around about 6 p.m. Initially it was quite warm, so it was raining up to relatively high levels, but the freezing level has dropped rapidly through the night. Absolutely dumping down all day today, Monday. It's going to keep dumping down until tomorrow morning. And from then on in, we're expecting more light snow pretty much throughout the rest of the week. Crucially, most of the time, freezing levels are staying quite low as well. There'll be the occasional blip, but probably not enough to ruin the snowpack. So, for any of you out here on your half-term holidays this week, you have really lucked out. This is the best snow we've had all season by an absolute country mile. This is absolutely phenomenal. The only problem is, it's also incredibly busy, as it is the busiest week of the year by an absolute country mile as well. We've got the UK half-term holidays, 2 French half-term holiday zones, German half-term holidays, by the sounds of it, Dutch as well, heard lots of Dutch accents, parts of Italy, parts of Switzerland, parts of Austria. Everybody's off on holiday at the moment, so it is so busy. So it's lucky for you, but it's really frustrating for me that the best snow of the season has come in the busiest week of the year. But it is what it is, got to make the most of it either way. Thankfully, most of the people here can't ski powder, so I should still be able to find some nice soft fluffy stuff a little bit away from the crowds. There you have it. The temperature is currently -2 and dropping at about 1,700 meters today. The previous storm at the same lift station, it was 2 or 3 degrees, which is why the snow is so much better today than it was 2 or 3 days ago. It's really coming down hard. The avalanche risk is still 4 out of 5 today. I really wouldn't be surprised if it goes back up to 5 again at some point later today. So the conditions really are still very, very dangerous. So if you're not a local and you don't know what you're doing, stick to the pistes. Especially with the current visibility, it's going to be quite poor all week. Even if you just go a few inches off to the side of a piste, you could end up avalanching yourself off a cliff or releasing a slough onto a run below if you don't know where you're going. So yeah, this is really not the time to be going exploring if you don't know what you're doing and where you're going. I'm back walking on my cat track again. One of my secret powder stashes that absolutely nobody else seems to know about brings me out to here. So it's well worth the effort, but I'm not going to tell you where it is because, like I say, nobody else seems to ski it, so I'm keeping it to myself. The upper valley in Chamonix is once again cut off from the outside world today. Trains and buses are terminating in Argentière. The road up to the Tour and over the Col de Montet is closed, which means obviously the entire ski area, the Tour, Tête de Balme and Vallorcine is closed, as is La Valmaine. Grand Montet, they are open, but it's basically only Tarbé running. Although of course you can do home run laps as well, so anybody skiing there, that's probably what they're doing today. Brabant-Fougère, at least last time I checked, they were also open, but again it's just the very bottom runs. You can't get up high anywhere close to the upper steeper faces. So given that it's very, very busy in Chamonix right now, the skiing is incredibly limited. La Zouche is going to be ridiculously busy today. I'm at Saint-Gervais again, as I always am on a powder day. Here, it's pretty busy, but it's not hard to escape the crowds. Like, as you can see now, there's absolutely nobody here in my little, this isn't even a secret spot, this is just this is a well-known powder spot. There are queues for some of the lifts, but we're talking like a couple of minutes. It's nothing like 20-30 minutes you'll be getting in some resorts today. What an amazing day. The mountains are reloading again nicely now for tomorrow as well, so tomorrow's going to be even better. The snow's not quite as deep as it was on the epic day in mid-January, but the base is so much better now, so today was actually overall a much better day. It's definitely been the best day of the season so far. And like I say, there's yet more snow to come for tomorrow. The weather deteriorated a bit in the afternoon. There was less snow, but a lot more wind. There's been a hell of a lot of wind redistribution this afternoon. Even down below the tree line it was really windy. There's lots of wind slab forming. You can just imagine how insane, like crazily dangerous it's going to be above the tree line now. For days, if not weeks to come, it's going to be absolutely lethal in the high mountains. But thankfully, it is cold and we've got snow low down, so you don't need to go up high to find the goods. Welcome back everybody to another absolutely fantastic day. We've probably had around 20 centimetres of fresh snow overnight, down at 1500 metres. A lot more than that up here at 1800 metres. It's hard to say just how much snow we've got here, but it's pretty phenomenal in the trees. Lower down, yesterday's snow has firmed up overnight, so you're kind of hitting a bit of a crust. It's still good, but not quite as amazing as it could be. But up here, it's almost bottomless. This is absolutely phenomenal. And this is just magical. The only problem is, today it's insanely busy. This is the busiest I've ever seen Saint-Gervais. A certain YouTuber needs to stop telling you all how good it is. But in all seriousness, this is the busiest week of the year, so it's not surprising it's busy. Couple that with the fact that there's very little skiing anywhere else available today. It is still avalanche category 4. Most of the skiing in Chamonix is closed. Le Contamine is only open as far as Signal. So lots of people from Le Contamine will be skiing down here in Saint-Gervais as well today. Over in Megeve at Côte de Mille, again, it's limited opening there, so again, people from Megeve will be staying this side. So all in all, it's a perfect storm. So busy. This is hands down the deepest snow I've ever skied in my life. Today, they've opened up the Apple chairlift, which is quite surprising given how high the avalanche risk is and the amount of unskilled and unequipped people are around. But for me, that means access to Little Japan. So here, this is the first time probably in 2 storm cycles that this snow's been touched. So we've got over 2 meters of untouched lying snow. It's just absolutely insane. Granted, it's not as soft and fluffy as it would be in the actual Japan. The top 30-40 centimeters are lovely, fluffy, blowy powder, and it gradually gets firmer as you go down because the snow was warmer in the previous storm cycles. But I mean, yeah, this is unreal. This is what you live for. Oh my fucking god! Woohoo! This is insane! Yeah! Little Japan, living up to its name. This is Megeve. One of the things that really pisses me off about skiing in Europe, and specifically the Alps, is that nobody fills up all the chairs. So to lap Little Japan, you've got to first take the Croix de Christ chair before taking a pull. The pool's empty, but there's a huge queue at the bottom of the Croix de Christ. Probably about 20 minutes the last time round. And yet half the chairs are going up, half empty. It's a 6-man express chair, and every chair you've got 3 people, 4 people, even saw one going up with 1 person. And none of the lifties or anything give a shit, no one does anything about it. And it's just a massive, massive waste of time. They wouldn't stand for that up in Scotland, and over in North America, they'd be pelting you with snowballs if you weren't filling the chairs. Maybe it's about time we started doing that here as well. The home run here in San Jose is really taking a battering with all this heavy traffic combined with all the rain we had in the first storm. Don't know how much longer it's going to last. It's pretty entertaining to watch, but yeah, it's also really chaotic right now. It's my goal for the season to reach 10,000 subscribers, which may seem like a long way off right now, but not when you consider that the vast majority of you are regular viewers. You tuned in for multiple of my videos, and yet still some 70 to 80% of you are not subscribed. Come on guys, you're letting the side down. And given the numbers of views my videos have been getting this season, if just a small fraction of you click that subscribe button right now, I'll reach that figure tomorrow. So let's all take a moment, do it together on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the family. Thursday today, and we're under yet another Category 5 avalanche warning. This is really starting to become unprecedented now. This is what? Our 3rd widespread Category 5 maximal avalanche warning in just 8 days. I don't know if this has ever happened. Granted, here in this region, we're only at Category 4 on Monday and Tuesday, but pretty much the entirety of the Swiss Valais went back up to level 5 again, as did some other parts of France. So we have seen 3 separate large areas under Category 5 in the space of just over a week, which is just crazy really. Of course, yet again, that means most of the skiing in the Chamonix Valley is closed for today, with the exception of Les Ouches. Brevant-Fougères and Grand-Montée did initially open today, but just the very lower runs. But as the forecast was predicted to go up to 5 during the day, they may well have shut them by now already. And if they haven't now, they certainly will be shutting them early throughout the day as the snow starts to kick in again. And if some of the more optimistic snowfall forecasts come to fruition, then by the time we've got to the end of this current storm, we could well have the deepest snowpack widely across much of the northern and western Alps that we've seen in 20 to 30 years. Not just at this point now, but for any point during the season. Which, when you consider the Northwest Alps had an absolutely terrible first month and a half of the season, we only had 1 snowfall until mid-January, and then that was the only snowfall we had until this period of snow. So we've basically got nearly all the snow that we have right now has come in the last week. That's just insane. Which goes to show just how quickly your fortunes can turn around when you have back-to-back snowstorms. All it takes is a few big storms back-to-back and you're right on track again. Earlier in the season, we had weeks, if not months, without snow. You lose it all again. It either melts or blows away. But when you have storms back to back to back, there's just no time for the snow to melt and blow away. So it just builds and builds and builds. Even though it hasn't been particularly cold. Again, the freezing levels went up to about 1900 meters yesterday. So last night, the snow limit was quite high. It's dropping again throughout the day today. So it's not desperately cold at all, but the snow just hasn't had time to melt before the next snows come along. And that's exactly what you want for a good season. It's frustrating that all this snow has come during the busiest period of the year, peak February half term. But at the very least, we're very well set up for a good second half of the season now. Even if it gets super warm, we've got, again, a really good base now. This is going to last well into spring. Woo! So those more optimistic forecasts are predicting around about another 60 to 90 centimetres of snow at 2,000 metres in both the Mont Massif and the Aravis, of which we're sandwiched between the two here in Saint-Gervais. Even the more pessimistic forecasts are suggesting around about 30 to 40 centimetres of snow, and many are predicting 50 to 60 centimetres of snow. So when you add that into metre plus of snow on Monday and Tuesday, even more snow last week, and we've got somewhere between 2 to 3 metres of snow in the last 8 days, which is pretty phenomenal for the Alps. Despite it still being slightly warmer today than it was back on Monday and Tuesday, the snow is still really light and fluffy. It's so enjoyable to ski. The old snow has crisped up a little bit. As I say, freezing level went out to about 1900 yesterday, and most of the skiing up here is below 1900. So there is a bit of a crust underneath today's snow. Apart from places where it's been really packed hard by skiers, it's kind of a soft crust. You're still kind of bouncing off of the old snow still. So yeah, all in all, it's still really great. The Apple chairlift is quite rightly closed today, which means no Little Japan naps for me, but that's definitely a good thing. People should not be out up there in this kind of conditions. But it just means it's all filling in again, so for the next time the lift's open, there'll be even more fresh tracks. But yeah, I was so lucky to have got first, second, third and fourth tracks down it on Tuesday. That was just a day for the ages. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera or not, but that up there is a pretty huge cornice, and this isn't a narrow ridgeline at all. Just 5 metres to the right of that, or behind it rather, is one of the pistes. It's a flat-topped broad ridge, so that goes to show just how much snow there's been and how much wind redistribution there's been as well. So this face I think is northeast facing, so the wind's been coming from the southwest, which is as you would expect, and yeah, a serious amount of build up on the edge of a relatively broad ridge. And the mountain's reloading again, ready for tomorrow. Friday today. It's not often I say this, but currently we've definitely got too much snow. Even my 108 underfoot, 188 metre long powder skis can't cope with this. Need like a 130 underfoot today. Haven't caught a day today, very early. Bogging my knee yet again. It's definitely much worse than I sprained it a few weeks ago. Hopefully it's not as bad as when I completely destroyed it last season, but only time will tell. But at least I'm an absolute expert on knee rehab now. I'll be starting the knee rehab as soon as I get down and I've had a shower today. The key is not to let anything seize up and the muscles get weak. So yeah, I'll be doing my calf raises and my leg raises as soon as I'm back at home. I'm certainly going to be sidelined for a couple of weeks I think, but fingers crossed it's not 2 months like it was last year. It's so busy today, it's not worth skiing anyway. It's just been really crap. It's avalanche risk 5 again, so virtually everything in Chamonix is closed. All of Grand Montet, all of Brevant and Flagère, all of Latour, Romaine, Valorsine, the upper valley, still completely cut off from the outside world. Latour and Valorsine have been basically in lockdown for a week now. It's been pretty insane. Yeah, most of the skiing in the Contamine again is also closed today. Côte de Mille in Megeve is also closed. So absolutely everybody is here in Saint-Gervais or in Les Ouches, and you just can't move. And the snow was a lot denser today than it was yesterday as well, so even if you did get a completely untracked line, it wasn't as enjoyable as it was yesterday. So I'm really not missing too much. I had the best of it for 3 days this week already, so I'm not too bummed out. I can still ski. It's been over an hour since it happened. It's taken me so long to get back across the Betex. Yeah, I'm in a lot of pain, but it doesn't feel unstable, so Fingers crossed, it's not too bad. Walking, on the other hand, especially on stiff alpine ski boots, not so straightforward. Might get myself some roller skates for the next few weeks. Naturally, this is me signing off for this week. Next week, the weather, temporarily at least, is looking very warm. Freezing levels on some days are going up well above 3,000 meters, which is pretty crazy. In the long run, that's great news for stabilizing this rather impressive snowpack, but in the short term, it's going to be incredibly dangerous. There's going to be a lot of purges, a lot of wet slides as the big snowpack heats up, gets wet, and then falls down. So, as tempting as it's going to be next week to get up high, get out there, do big things, you need to be really careful. Bluebird weather combined with a huge snowpack and warm temperatures is a recipe for disaster. So yeah, keep playing it safe, being sensible.